Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I do reviews and reactions to TV shows, news, politics, celeb news, things like that. Tonight, I am doing a review on The Challenge. This season is just every single episode. They're just dropping bombs, curveballs, things like that. I'm just literally overwhelmed and I'm screaming with my sister whenever I watch it. And I guess I love that because I'd rather have that than be bored. So I'm gonna just go through my notes. I have everything here because I type out everything while I'm watching the episode and let you know what I thought of everything. So immediately we see Cam walking into the house happy. I was gonna say giddy, but I don't know if that's like the right word to use because she's happy on one hand because she got her gold skull, but she's also kind of annoyed with the whole situation with Teresa and Jay because if you never last episode, because Teresa did tell Cam to her face, hey, I'm considering putting you up for the crater, but if I do, I'll let you know. And she failed to not do that. And that pissed off her, Kyle, Leroy, just a lot of people are really annoyed at that situation. So that's kind of like what stems the big drama mostly throughout this whole episode. In the confessional, Devin is saying how Teresa's a snake. That's literally what's on everyone's mind. It just kind of sucks because Jay is Teresa's partner. So essentially his name is getting dragged into it because you're a pair. Like, people will nominate a whole pair if one person pisses off the whole house because you kind of just want at least one person, and we never really know when it's a boys elimination because they've been tossing it up all over the place all season. Corey and Kyle both confront Jay about his sneaky move, and Corey just openly says that Jay is ruthless and like he doesn't want to work with him moving forward. He's a snake. He doesn't believe him. And to be honest, I feel like Corey's kind of just triggered / like PTSD about the whole Fessy thing because Fessy was supposed to be his friend, but crossed him and went against Nelson when that was supposed to be his friend. So I feel like Corey's just feeling really like about a lot of people because everyone's going back on their words. They're saying one thing, but then they're doing another thing with their actions. So it's just like there's a lot of confrontation happening in this game, which is good because no one's really like curving around situations or trying to dodge it mostly. However, when Leroy was talking to Jay about the situation, Teresa, like I think overheard them and walked into the room and was like, hey, I take full responsibility for what happened. Like, stop kind of blaming Jay. I did it. I orchestrated it. And Leroy's like, still, like, he's your partner. Essentially, he's still tagged to you. So, like, I'm still going to be blaming him on it. Like, I see you're trying to be taking the ownership for it, but it's still him who's on it because it takes two people to vote somebody. You guys could have voted someone else, or he could have swayed you something different, but he still agreed with it despite, I guess, you putting my girl in because, again, it's his girl in the end. So, of course, he's going to ride for her. And Teresa's like, whatever, everyone's getting pissed. I don't think everyone should be getting pissed because Cam got her skull. Yes, she got her skull, but again, she was blindsided, and that's what it comes down to. I guess there's like a two-way street on it. That's kind of how I'm feeling about it. And then Cam starts venting to the girls, saying that they made enemies of themselves. Jay and Teresa is who they are. And I agree because if anything, they didn't just like piss off the person who was eliminated and gone, Ashley, to piss off Cam, Leroy, Corey, Kyle, like everyone's just mad at them. So it's not just one person, so the backlash for it plays out throughout this entirety of this episode. The next morning, CT and Teresa kind of just talk about the aftermath of the previous night. And this is where it gets kind of messy because later in the episode, I might trickle back to this. Teresa mentions that they should put Darrell. She said his name. And then CT agreed with it. And then like that was kind of the end of that conversation. So now we're seeing like Teresa's just kind of planting seeds and saying people's names. So she verbally did say Darrell and CT agreed with this. So it's kind of like there was that consensus that they both know that his name was mentioned. But in my eyes, watching the scene, Teresa was the first one to say it. Just remember that. And then we see Corey and Fessy, who they are not really friends at this moment. I don't know if they've actually like talked since the whole Nelson elimination happened, but Fessy decides to pull Corey and like, hey, I want to talk to you man to man. I want to apologize for what happened. I don't feel good about what happened. Like I want to apologize for it. Like I want to be friends or at least like have an alliance. I want to help you get your skull. I think Corey doesn't have his for some reason. I think he might not, but like, I just want to work with you. I want you to get to the end. Like, above all, I was being cocky. I was putting myself first, but like I need to realize like we are friends and I really cherish our friendship essentially. And Corey is just overall like dodgy about it, like in his confessional at least. Like, I want to trust him. He was my good friend at some points. So I want to, but he still kind of snaked me. So there's that kind of like hesitant about the situation. Kyle and Devin are at the hot tub. Like, I don't know where it was at in proximity, but the camera kept panning to them while they're having that conversation. So it was close enough for them to hear what was happening. And they're like chuckling about it, but in their confessional saying how, fuck Fessy. Regardless, whatever he's saying, it's just not gonna fly by us. He shouldn't believe him. Corey was double crossed by Fessy. So regardless, if Fessy's saying sorry, he shouldn't take it. So basically, they were kind of just having their own kind of thing about it because Devin loves drama. They cut to the challenge episode, and all you see so far is like a beach, water, and helicopter. TJ announces that Corey cannot play because he's a rogue agent. He doesn't have a partner right now, and that the objective of the game is that there's like a big netting kind of thing, and it goes in different heats. So girls, guys, and everyone kind of holds onto the net while the helicopter lifts off, and everyone has to like wrestle each other to the end. And whoever is like the last one standing on that net is like who wins for the like whole like partnership, if that makes sense. What was very confusing, and I was kind of like typing in like this, the guys on the first heat just didn't fight each other and just all got eliminated like due to like timing out / being disqualified. For the girls, Casey stayed on the longest and pushed off Nani. For the girls' second heat, Teresa won, but it was very confusing with the voiceovers, and Teresa cussed out Amber B. I'm hoping that's her last name. She's Darrell's partner. And I wasn't understanding what was going on. So apparently there was a whole objective that Teresa was supposed to win over Amber, and Amber was supposed to let her win, but they were actually fighting. So that kind of stems to later on also. But the men staying on and getting disqualified, not only in the first heat, but the second heat was very confusing. The second heat was a little bit different because there were men who were actually like fighting each other and like fell off. But there were some that just stayed on really, really long time. I don't know what their objective of that was, especially because it was a men's week potentially, because you just never know. But ultimately, Casey and Leroy won over Teresa and Jay by 1 second. I hate when they say like 1 second with a 0.5 seconds. I'm like, I would have rather had it be like a minute or 30 seconds. So I'm not like thinking, wow, I should have had that 1 more second or that 0.5 second. I could have like won, but they won. And I'm really happy for that because Leroy and Casey both don't have a skull. Teresa and Jay could have gotten their skull last week if they wanted to, but they wanted to nominate other people instead of getting it themselves. I'm fine with the outcome. And I do like Leroy. But when they got back to the house and went to their little drinking ego thing, because every time they get little drinks in them, people get a little crazy, they get a little aggressive, things get interesting in a messy way. So Teresa was very vocal about how she was pissed about Amber B not letting her win and was like mouthing off about the situation. And I'm like, Teresa, you just won last week. Not saying that you can't win week to week because that's what happened with Anissa and Fessy the first 2 episodes. But she was like mad at her and like saying like she should have let her win essentially. So then Darrell confronts her about it later and it's like, hey, like you told my partner that she should have let you win. And Teresa's like, that's not what happened. I didn't say that. I never said your name. But remember in the beginning of the episode or the beginning of my review, I said that Teresa and TT were talking about Darrell. So his name was brought up. So then the way that Teresa was handling the conversation, not only with Darrell, but with Amber, I started questioning who said his name first. Like I was just so confused with the way they were acting about it. So Teresa eventually goes to Amber B and goes off saying like, I didn't come for you for shit, like to like support. I never come to you for shit. I don't trust you, and this is why. Like, I just feel like I need to rewatch the episode and understand what was said, what was done, what was the orchestrated plan, but obviously failed because Teresa lost. And just see where everything's just going off, because I feel like each episode, more and more people have drama, and they didn't have this the first couple episodes. They weren't showing this because this is just wild. It's really hard to keep up with. But then things get a little messy, like I said. Devin, out of nowhere, tells Fessy that we don't want you to win, like they didn't want him to win that boys heat. And Kyle chimes in and says like, yeah, he agrees with Devin and doesn't want Fessy to win. Kyle's been bitter ever since Fessy put Kyle up and got his skull, even though Kyle lied to Fessy that episode, but he's still just bitter that he was put up anyways. And the argument gets heated. I was really scared for what was going to happen. That's literally what I have written down. And out of nowhere, Devin is continuing to instigate with Big Brother people. He just doesn't like Big Brother people. He said that earlier, that he says he has like a vengeance against them. You don't trust them because they all lie in their games, which is true. You kind of have to lie to win Big Brother. But this is a different game now, but I guess they could carry those ethics here. But Devin is getting in Fessy's face and saying shit. And Fessy got a little southern little accent coming out. I don't know where Fessy's like origins are in like US, like, but he got an accent I've never heard him have in Big Brother in his first season of the challenge. And now like, where did this Fessy come out from? Because this was wild. I was not expecting that. And then Josh comes in as he should / I expected, because that's his Big Brother bro, but he went in and stepped in when the Casey thing happened. So Josh kind of just always gets in the middle of fights, but it also kind of makes sense because Devin is instigating and Devin and Josh clash. So it's kind of like bound for him to kind of step into it. And it just got so confusing. Like, I said, Josh threw a drink like he always does, because reference to when he threw a drink at Swaggy last season. Josh shoved Devin, and that's when I was like, okay, this is a challenge foul, because whenever anyone puts anyone's hands on each other, they have to leave, because it makes sense. You shouldn't be physical with anyone. Things get bad. And then Fessy was wilding. The water hit Kyle. Like, it was just like a very big man's fight that I didn't understand why I need to go that way, because Devin loves to instigate fights for no reason. Like, just focus on doing you, but that's just Devin's character. We get to the deliberation time where everyone kind of amongst themselves, except for the agent who won and have power, they all kind of just talk about who they want to vote up. And things just popped off between Teresa and CT, where I was confused for the third time because I had to question who said Darrell's name first. Yes, in my notes, I did say that it was Teresa, but then they were both denying it. Teresa's like, CT, you said it. And then CT's like, no, Teresa, you said it. And then Teresa's like, I had my receipts. I knew what I was wearing. I knew where it took place, the setting, things like that. But then when they rewind it, the clips show that Teresa said it first, but it was a segment of the clip. So I kind of need to watch it from the very, very beginning with no editing. So the fact that they're both denying it, it's just like, y'all are lying to the audience at this point. It's not even so much just the people who are there. You're lying to us, because now I'm lost and I don't even know who to defend, even though my defending won't help them, but I'm lost. So then overall, when everyone goes in after that whole debacle happened, Teresa and Jay were the nominated agents, and Leroy and Casey are still deliberating whether they want to go down for themselves or put Nam up. Nam's name came up. Don't really know why, because he is really quiet. So I guess there's just like a person, like a burner vote as they call it. But then like Leroy, please use your head. Please prove me wrong that not everyone who wins each week doesn't put themselves up, because no one wants their skull, is what I've been saying since episode 1 of this season. Please put yourself up. And Lolo, kind of after that happened, not saying that they were a part of that, Lolo tells Nam that he should be prepared in case he potentially gets put up. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Also, she had no sympathy when she was saying it. It wasn't like a, Nam, like, you should be worried. I don't know. She was like, Nam, you should be prepared. You just never know. I'm like, okay, Lolo, where is this? Like, he's your partner. Feel bad. But they get to the crater and TJ drops a bomb as expected, because this season is just full surprise. TJ was pissed and he says that the guys who didn't compete in the challenge, all their votes were null. So now I'm like, okay, is Teresa and Jay not gonna get nominated? Like, I don't know how many guys voted for it. No one knew, the counts were off. Like, we were just really worried, but ultimately it didn't change anything. So there was that big kind of like, oh my God, things are gonna change, but it didn't, luckily. But it was like a big, like, kind of hold your chest kind of situation. And in the end, Leroy, the big man that he was like, you know what? I'm gonna go down. I need my skull. My girl got my skull. And you see Cam on the side, like cheering and stuff, as she should. And when I tell you that this challenge or elimination gave me like, I was scared. Like, I was like, oh my God, Leroy was flying. This is the same challenge that Ashley and Natalie did, and Ashley lost. Leroy was flying. And the thing is, at first they were kind of like neck and neck. The producers were making it really seem like Jay was in front, then Leroy, then they caught up and something. But when I tell you that when Leroy got to the end on his part and Jay was not even there yet, Leroy, I guess, was almost getting passed up by Jay. This man flew. He flew. I said, as he should, he flew. I said, okay, this man knows, like, he needs to go. So he's flying back and didn't gas out. I was worried that was going to happen, because that's why they don't really go too hard sometimes at the beginning, because they might gas out and like tire themselves out to win. Woo! When I say he got stuck on that like little hump, I was screaming at the screen like, Leroy, please pull this out. Don't do this. Just breathe. Don't go too crazy. And he won ultimately. And I'm super, super happy for him, because it's just like he won with Casey. He put himself down and he got a skull, as he should, because the other agents haven't been doing that. So I was really happy to see that. But whew, okay, that was a mouthful. Yeah. So let me know what y'all think of the episode in the comments, what you thought of my review, and yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye.